Live. This is Mike Wall. Welcome back to another episode of the Agent Revolution podcast, where we deconstruct the place. Well, we deconstruct the real estate business so that you can build a sustainable, profitable, but most of all, fulfilling real estate business. Hey, do me a big favor. We have right now 8 hours, absolutely free real estate business training over at MikeWallLive.com. But I'm super excited today. I've got a mega rock star agent. He works for Keller Williams in Tampa Bay. His name is Toni Baroni, and we are going to discuss the impact of 5-star reviews. It's the digital economy, and these things, this digital resume that you have online is more important than ever. Toni, are you ready to rock and roll, man?
Let's go.
Let's do it, brother. I love the energy, man. I love it. Hey, but before we get into today's topic, tell me a little bit about your background. I know we talked a little bit before we started the show. You've been in real estate for a while now. You've been at Keller Williams since 2007, 2008?
2007, that's correct.
And you know, you guys are selling a lot of property. You guys are 260 units, $75 million in production, and just growing this thing. You've got an office in Orlando. You've got Lakeland?
Correct.
Yeah, and you've got big plans to grow out. But tell everybody has a unique story about how they got into the real estate business. And so I'd love to hear what yours is.
Yeah, Mike. So I was in logistics prior to real estate, and that was an extremely stressful career in the automotive field. And bought my first home and said, hey, you know, I think I can do this. And basically decided I'm going to get my real estate license. Got started in 2005 and learned the financial side first, got my mortgage license, and then became a realtor about a year later. And then when I became a realtor, I went full time and jumped right in, and was with another company for about 18 months, joined KW in 2007. Was on a team from 2007 to 2010 as their listing agent. And then I started my team in 2011. And fast forward to today, you know, we have about 15 people on the team and offices in Tampa Bay and Orlando right now. Yeah. We cover really everywhere in between.
Love it, man. You have very similar backgrounds, not in logistics, but I also got my mortgage license first. Actually, they didn't require a license back then. You could just do mortgages. And so I actually got in and started doing mortgages as well, just like you did. And I also was on a team. When I joined the real estate industry, I thought, well, you know, I don't know a lot about real estate. Let me find out who's doing it at the top level and see if I can learn from them. And that's what I did. So at what point did you decide when you were doing mortgages that real estate would be a better fit for you, Toni?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like not having interaction with clients. So that was so strange to me to not ever meet the client when we were doing their loans. And that's pretty normal in the industry, obviously. So, you know, I liked the relationships and being around people specifically. So I fell in love with real estate really fast, and specifically listings is what I've really always focused on myself personally, and then build a pretty awesome buyer division within our team.
Got it. And when you got into the business, did you get in with the intention of building a team, or did you just think, hey, I'm going to do this on my own for a while?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, we actually right off the bat had a team, but we weren't with KW, and we did that for about 18 months, and then I joined Keller Williams and right into a team, and then I think I was on my own for maybe 3 months as a solo agent when I joined, when I left that team to start my team. And so out of the 15 years, I've been by myself for 3 months out of that whole time. So I've always basically been on a team. And, you know, I grew up playing a lot of sports and just very team oriented and really focused on building my team immediately.
Yeah. What do you like about real estate teams in general? Like, what do you think, what's the And I mean, I think I have an answer for this as well, but I'd love to hear your take on it. Why do you think it's advantageous to join a team when you get into real estate?
Well, I mean, it's so much more fun to be around other people and to be specialists at what you do, in my opinion. So, we were talking about that this morning. We had a meeting and we just hired a person that's moving from California, and basically she was the EA and she's doing the 80% pretty much, right? And she is so busy. She's our team as inside sales, so she can just focus on that and not worry about listing coordination, transaction coordination, and a million other things, and everything in between, brochures, you name it, right? So she's super excited to be a specialist. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here. I heard you say.
Oh, okay. I lost you there for a second.
No, you're good. So you've got roughly 15 people on the team right now. Give me, what are the roles that you have filled right now, other than your agents? And your agents, do they both list and sell?
I'm sorry, Mike, you lost you. What you said is what roles do we have on the team? Is that what you said?
So you've got roughly 15 people right now on the team. Other than your agents, what roles do you have filled? Did you hear me?
I'm so sorry, I can't hear you. No, you want me to?
Can you hear me now?
What roles do we have? Is that what you said?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Tony, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so you're back. You're back
yes.
in. Okay.
Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. I do this all day.
Yeah, no. It wouldn't be a good podcast without some poor internet connection. That's for sure, right? You back?
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah. Sorry. Don't worry, man. We can edit that out easy. So where I was at, man, you've got roughly 15 people on the squad right now, right? How many of them are agents?
So about 6.
You got 6 agents, and do they both list and sell?
No, we have specialists on the team.
Okay. And how many people are buyer specialists, and how many people are listing specialists?
Yeah, so we have one listing specialist, well, 2 including me, and then we have a lead buyer specialist, a showing specialist, and two buyer specialists.
Got it. And then what other admin roles do you have? Well, you've also got an inside salesperson as well, right?
We do. So we have director of lead gen. We're bringing on 2 ISA right now. They're starting the next couple weeks, and then director of operations. Director of, did I say director of lead generation?
Yeah.
And then we have a in-house stager, and then a listing manager, listing closing coordinator, buyer closing coordinator.
Got it. Got it.
And then our expansion partner in Orlando as well.
Got it.
So with him, it would be 7 agents.
Okay. And you're fortunate enough to get to work with your wife. And what was her role again?
Her role is director of operations.
Got it. Okay. Perfect, man. That's awesome. And how long have you been with the model you're at right now with these people in place? Is this a new model for you, or have you guys been rolling around for a couple of years with this model?
Same model for at least, I think I started an ISA department about 5 or 6 years ago. So,
Okay.
We've been at the same model for a while. We just expanded about a year ago to Orlando.
Okay.
So that's on the newer side out of everything.
Got it. And your ISAs, are they handling your internet lead gen and anything you're generating online, or are they just doing like neighborhood prospecting with the Mojo Dialer?
Mainly they're mainly inbound, Mike, for the most part. So, okay. Inbound leads, speed to the lead, nurturing, follow-up, sign calls, reviews, all the different things that gets the phone to ring.
Got it. And what lead sources do you currently have in place?
So for our number one source of business is agent referrals. And then number 2 is internet, which would be the majority would be online reviews out of that.
Yeah.
And then number 3 is past clients and past client referrals. Yeah. And then number four is networking.
Yeah. And I hope people didn't gloss over what you just said. Your internet leads, most of those come from your reviews. And that's a great segue into our conversation today. For those of you who didn't see it, Toni has probably more online reviews than I've ever seen anyone else have. I'm sure, there's somebody that has more reviews, but I've never seen them. You've got over 1,700 reviews. And I want you to tell me that doesn't happen by accident. I know that you had to get intentional about getting those reviews. But before we talk about when you got intentional about getting those reviews and what you actually do to get them, when did you start to understand that, hey, I'm really going to double down on this? And what changed, or have you been doing that for a while? But when you did start doing it, what was the paradigm shift for you?
Yeah, I think it started, Mike, originally just out of curiosity on how I was doing personally for my clients, so, it becomes kind of awkward when you ask them. Most of the time they're going to say, yeah, things went great. And so it became my metric per se to know that I was doing a great job for my clients. And then in my mind, it became, well, if they'll do a review for me, they're definitely going to refer me, right? So that became kind of the logic behind it. If they're willing to do a 5-star review, then I have a raving fan I've created. And then it's a matter of training them how to send us referrals so we can help more of their friends and family and coworkers and their spirit, essentially. So that was kind of the mindset behind it.
Yeah. So, and that started with you, right? You were the one that wanted to drive home, hey, it's important that we get these reviews. And on some level, you knew it at that point, you've got to build out a system to do it, right? That's something that has checks and balances. And so, I'm a proponent of R&D in our industry. It's rip off and duplicate. Some people, they have their own ideas, but when you decided to do this, what was the strategy? Like, what did you put in place, and what changed after that?
Yeah. So the strategy began at the very beginning when I started this. I was an expired listing guy. That's what I did. So I called expireds every day, and really I kind of started giving myself the day off if I could get a referral at closing, and they would agree to do a review and do a referral, then I would kind of give the next day off. And believe me, I didn't want to make 100 calls every day. So I was kind of on the mindset of, wow, I get to take a day off from doing that. And so it was my little reward I created myself for getting referrals at closing. And I got pretty good at it because I really didn't want to make 100 calls the next day, to be honest, Mike. So it started with that, and then it evolved into getting reviews. And then if I knew they would do a review, I knew they'd give me referrals. And then we kind of wrapped it all up. It's been an evolution over time into something I don't know if you've heard about, but it's called The Promise. And a lot of people have adopted that over time, and really it's the promise to deliver an amazing customer experience. And in turn, we ask for a couple things from them, and one being getting a review from them at the end.
Yeah.
And then number two, getting a referral from them during the process or after.
Let me pivot just a little bit. That's something that was interesting. You said that you would get a referral at the closing, and I know oftentimes, agents are just they're so excited, and I think a lot of agents fail at asking for a referral at closing, which typically is a really good time to do it, because let's face it, these buyers or sellers, you've done something really good for them, hopefully, right? And
sure.
And so much so that they feel indebted to you at that point, right? And they almost feel obligated to be able to give you a name and a number. And so I don't want to gloss over that. I know this is about reviews, but let's face it, reviews are in place so that they essentially refer you business, right? And so that's what we're looking for here. But what did that look like for you? So you're sitting at the closing right now, and let's say your buyer's sitting right beside you. How do you approach that conversation, Tony?
Yeah, so at closing, for referrals or reviews?
For referrals.
Referrals. Yeah, so Mike, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how'd we do for you, would you say, as far as delivering the promise to you?
Oh, you guys were a 10 out of 10, man.
The 10 out of 10. Wow. Thank you so much. That, Mike, that's why I started this business, to get an answer like that. So I truly appreciate it. You guys were awesome to work with. And here's the deal, Mike. I'm actually going to be unemployed now. I don't know if you know that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So what I'm hoping to do is to replace yourself with another awesome person that's just like you, that we can help with real estate needs. So is there anyone that you know that we could serve?
Love it, man. Yeah. That's greatness.
Yeah. So and then they may say yes, they may say no, but right then is really the opportunity to lay the what I call unpaid salespeople.
Yeah.
Really your past clients, to be out on the streets, at their work office, wherever they may be, to be your advocate, to help you grow your business. And right. I'm going to take that time at that moment, and I'm going to train them. And if they say no, I'm going to say, well, Mike, it sounds like you're willing to do that for me, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So when that opportunity presents itself, Mike, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to do a 3-way intro between me and that client, that future client, and you introducing us together. So then I'm able to contact them and see how we can serve them. Okay. Yeah. Would you be willing to do that for me?
Absolutely, Tony.
Awesome. So Mike, you've been a joy to work with. I'm going to stay in touch with you for now on. And I appreciate you already agreeing to do the online reviews. That's huge. I just sent over the links to you, so you can go ahead and do that. I put a follow-up to call you in a couple weeks just to check in on you and see how things are going. So I'll be calling you in a couple weeks, okay?
Love it, man. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. In the meantime, Mike, anything I can do, I'm here to help. Let me know. Do you have any vendors that you're going to need for the house? Are you going to mow your own yard? Do you need any specific things? And I'm going to start hooking them up with my network, and then I'm going to train them to call me for all their solutions in the future. I'm going to become their Angie's List, per se, because I'm their agent, and that's what agents should be doing.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. One-stop shop, right?
Yep.
Make it easy for them. Yeah, I love the idea, man. I love it. And what that does, obviously, is you're really drilling in on that rapport, right? That's concrete on the foundation right there, because not only do they know they can count on you for whatever contractor or work they need done, but that also every time they call you, they think, hey, this is Toni Baroni. He's also my real estate agent, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's exactly what you want. You want them to call you, because at the end of the day, as you grow your business, it does become very challenging to stay in touch with everyone. So it's pretty cool when they're reaching out to you because they need a plumber or whatever they need.
Yeah, and not only that, but you're adding value, right? You're becoming an invaluable asset to them. And when they make that call and you give that referral, so let's say it's a plumber, right?
Yeah.
They know that they can trust when they call that plumber that they're going to have a good experience, because you wouldn't have picked that plumber unless you knew that you were going to have a good experience, right?
Yeah, and that's where it gets really cool, Mike. You call the plumber and you say, hey, I just sent you one of my most important clients. I want to make sure you know that. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys via text. Can you go ahead and reach out to them? And then you're going to build that foundation. And then you're building another unpaid salesperson in the plumber that goes into people's houses every day. And hopefully they will then refer me for real estate. And if they don't, there's plenty of plumbers, just to be honest.
Absolutely, man. I would agree. And I don't want to get too far off track. I love that, by the way. I think that is gold. And I hope everybody listening wrote that down. So the second piece of that is the reviews, right? So that's the referral piece. Now there's the review piece. And I've oftentimes heard that that people will ask for reviews throughout the transaction. They'll do it, like the minute they go under contract, they'll do it after inspections are negotiated, they'll do it then again at the closing table. How is yours set up?
Yeah, so we really focus on the end. Yet sometimes they say they'll do it after contract or whenever they say. So we leave it up to them, but most, 90% of them want to see how it goes throughout the process before they do reviews.
Okay, and how do you ensure that it gets done, Tony?
Yeah, so for us, it's just a matter of, it's the same script as what I use at the closing table. It's, hey, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how'd we do with delivering the promise? And they'll tell you, well, let's say they say an 8. I'm going to say, well, what could have made it a 10? And they're going to tell you, whatever the case may be. And then we're going to break it down to reasonable and unreasonable, what we can control, what we can't control. And then that allows the opportunity to explain to them if that 8 was because of you, or was that the title company, was it the lender, or was it just the opposing party, or whatever the case may be. Allows a discussion around it. And then, hey, thanks for the room for improvement there. We're going to take that information and get better. Thanks so much for telling me that. So let me ask you this, Mike. Would you still be willing to do reviews for us like we talked about at the beginning of this process?
Sure.
Oh, awesome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and text and email you a link to go ahead and do reviews for us. And then I'm going to follow up with you in a couple weeks and just check in on you and see how things are going and see if you had an opportunity to do those reviews for me yet.
Got it. And specifically, Tony, what are you guys asking for reviews? What sites?
Yeah, so I'll post it here to our website. We have 7 that we focus on. And but basically it's Zillow, Realtor.com. We do Angie's List, Yelp, Google My Business. Yep. So we have 7 total is what we focus on.
Okay. And you find that from those list of reviews that any one performs better than the other in terms of getting you referrals?
I'd say the top ones are, Zillow's the #1 consumer website, whether we like it or not. So,
yeah.
A lot of people do find you on Zillow. And then number 2, the top 2 would be Google and Zillow, in my opinion.
Yeah. So at a minimum, you like to get those 2, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the minimum, the way we track it, we want 70% of the time.
70% of the time.
Yeah, but a lot of the time, the interesting part, Mike, when you do what we're talking about, I have over 1,700 past clients. I have over 1,700 reviews. And the reason is so many clients will do all websites. They'll do all 7 if you ask them. We're basically 100% of the clients we've served, we've gotten at least 1 review when you break down the facts. But we're asking for, I think it started with 3 or 4, and then 5 and 6 and 7. So you just kind of decide what's important to you.
Have you ever gone back retroactively and asked for reviews from clients?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And what is that?
Mike, I've even had people, no joke, I've been at a restaurant locally and I've had someone come up to me and say, "Hey, Tony, I know you don't know me, but I promise I'm going to do reviews for you guys. I just haven't had time." Like, so I mean, we have it pretty driven into what we do, and I've had that happen not only once. It's been a couple different times where people are like, we followed up with them, and they're like, "Oh, I just haven't had a chance to do it." And that's the other thing people need to know during closing. They're really busy, so for them to do it right at closing is not going to happen very often. So the fortune's in the follow-up to get reviews after closing.
Yeah. Do you ever do anything to incentivize clients to give you reviews after closing? Like do a gift card giveaway or something?
We do. We do an ongoing contest that basically, if you do all 7 review sites, you get so many chances to win. And then if you do just one, you get 1 per. And then every quarter we do a drawing for a gift card at the end of the quarter. So it's just part of what we do.
Love it. Love it. Love it, man. This is great. And I know, we've all heard the old adage, what you focus on expands. And this is obviously something that, you guys have made a major focus in your business and done really, really well with it. So let's talk about the really fun part now, right? Let's talk about, that's all the hard work, right? That's getting the reviews. Now, the fun part is when it starts making the phone ring, right? And people start calling you because they see, hey, man, this guy's got, 1,700 reviews. They're all 5-star. That's a no-brainer because they're looking at Joe and Susie who've got, 13 and one's got, 34, right? And then they see yours and they're like, okay, I guess we know who to call. But and I know that was the intent when you went into this, is you wanted to create something where it was just it was so blatantly relevant that they didn't have a choice to call anybody. They would feel stupid to call anyone else other than you because of how many reviews that you had. There's probably not many people, even in your local market, that have even close to 1,700 reviews. So you're making the decision upfront and very easy for the consumer. But so people obviously in the new digital economy, most people are going online, they're doing research before they ever make a phone call, right? You've got all this information online. I've got information online. I call it the digital resume because truly people they can investigate you on Facebook. They can investigate you on Google, right? There's all different channels that people can look up information on you. And what you're making, what you're doing for your digital resume is you're getting out on all these different channels, and you're making, you're making it so that the message is tied together, right? So it doesn't matter where you go. I can go here. I can go here. I can go here. Everything is tied together. Everything looks good. Everything's 5-star, and consumers are doing that. And then they're actually calling into your team, right? And saying, hey, we want to do business with you.
Absolutely. That's where it gets real fun. And, people, I'd say more and more people read reviews. I know I do before I make a big purchase. And last I checked, real estate's going to be one of the biggest. So, most likely they're going to do reviews, and then it's became part of our value proposition. So, I mean, my script is very simple. I can say whatever about myself, Mike, and my team, right?
Yeah.
Yet I want you to read what past clients had to say. And you're going to find that they have the same theme. On the listing side, they say best marketing, amazing communication, cutting edge technology. It's a very common theme. So I want you to go in there and read that for yourself. So if they haven't read reviews yet, I'm still going to push them there. If they call in and they've already read reviews, I'm going to find out what websites, how many they read, because that becomes part of the reason they called you. And you really don't need to say a whole lot, to be honest. Like you probably less is more at that point, because you don't want to have to try to resell them on something they're already sold on.
Yeah. And the cool thing about a review is essentially they're selling themselves on you. You know what I mean? And I mean, you talk about big purchases. Hell, I mean, I read reviews for stuff I buy on Amazon that's $12.99. You know what I mean?
Right. We all do.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you can imagine people are reading reviews for realtors for sure, man. And they are. I hope that I hope this lands in the lap of the right people today, because people, it's not too late to get started. It's not too late to get started on your reviews. If you get intentional right now, I can tell you most people aren't intentional about getting reviews. I mean, obviously there are a handful that are, but even if you start today, if you haven't been very good at this in the past, start today. And you can go back just like Toni has here, retroactively. You can create contests and have a giveaway for a gift card where, if you give, let's say you want a review on 5 different sites, and you give out 5 different links. You can text and email these links to make it really easy for the consumer. And then you can go back and say, hey, for every review, I'll give you an entry to this contest. And we'll say, hey, at the end of the month, we're going to give away a $500 Amazon gift card, right? And now if you do all 5 reviews, you're going to get 5 entries. You're going to have 5 chances to win. And, people get into stuff like that. People love that. And well,
it's fun.
Yeah. And so, again, if you've not been very good at this in the past, and you've got, let's say 100 past clients, you've got a great little database to tap into to start your first contest today and go back and create 100 reviews for yourself. Or actually, you could create 500 reviews just by tapping into those 100 clients, because they could review on all 5 sites.
Yeah, we took it a step further, Mike. I just posted here that you can share with everyone on the podcast. But we created it all on our website. It's all on one link. So, we used to have like 7 hyperlinks in an email, and we just created it all in one place on our website for them to read reviews and write reviews all in one place. So that's really been.
If you don't mind me asking.
What's that?
How did you guys do that, if you don't mind me asking? Is there a company that does that for you?
We have an in-house, I didn't even talk about that, but we have an in-house, we call him an internet specialist. So he helps me build all kinds of stuff on our team.
Okay, cool. So that's proprietary to you, but what you're saying is it can be created. You can create a landing page or a spot where everybody can go to one place and create these reviews. That's even making it easier. And the easier you can make it on the consumer, the better, the more likely that they're actually going to do it, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you got to make it simple.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, this has been very enlightening. And guys, Tony's got a lot more to talk about than just reviews. This guy's a stud, man. He does a lot of business out in Tampa, and I'm sure we could bring him back on the show to talk, any myriad of different topics as real estate related. But again, when Tony and when I sent him the DM on Facebook and he sent me back over some topic ideas, this one really stuck out to me because we just haven't hit on this very much. And I know this could make a big impact on your business. And so, Tony, I so appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to come in and share with our audience. Let me ask you this, man. If people want to learn more about you, your business, how can they get in? What is the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, best way, just go to our website and you can, whatever you prefer, right? Whether you call, text, email, YouTube, social media. Probably an easy way is to follow us on Facebook, Toni Baroni Team on Facebook, Instagram, Toni Baroni Team, and get to know us that way. But we're here to help. I posted our website as well. So yeah, we're pretty accessible, Mike.
Awesome. And one more time, the markets you service in case somebody wants to send you a referral, my man.
Yeah, so all of Tampa Bay, including St. Pete, Clearwater, all of the suburbs of Tampa, Lakeland, and Orlando, and greater Orlando.
Love it, man. Well, as usual, I love sharing these stories week after week because I know this show is literally changing agents' financial lives. Do me a big favor. If you know someone who might like the podcast, please share it with them. And if you like the podcast, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. Don't forget MikeWallLive.com, where you can get 8 hours of absolutely free additional business training. For Mr. Toni Baroni, this is Mike Wall. We are signing off. Tony, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it, my man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.